I don't know how the conflict started, but it always has seemed to me throughout my entire musical career that guitarists and bassists are always butting heads. Certain people seem to think that bass players are useless, and I mean, you hear the stories about Jason Newsted's bass guitar getting mixed out entirely of Metallica's And Justice for All album. But I look at things a little bit differently. I sort of think that a bass is not just a necessary part of the band, but it can be a absolutely necessary, integral part of the band in forming the band's sound. Now, I too, like Cinda, love Simon Gallup for his machine-like consistency and energy. But for me, there's two bassists that really do it for me almost every time I listen to them. And those two, Paul McCartney and Juan Alderete. What can you say about Paul McCartney that hasn't already been said? I mean, he's a legend. He's a Beatle, which is kind of all you need to say. But for me, it's so much deeper than that. For me, he's always doing things that you never expect him to do. When I was graduating high school and just about to start music college, my grandmother gifted me the Beatles' complete scores. And in this huge, thick book is every single song the Beatles ever recorded, transcribed out with all the instruments. And in it, Paul's bass parts are tabbed out and transcribed. Now, it's amazing to read through and try to play these parts because he's doing things that are totally not what you would expect a bass player to do for the music of the time. It seemed like other bass players were sticking to playing the root note of each chord, just kind of following the chord movement and just giving a low-end foundation. But what he's doing, he's almost doing stuff that a lead guitar player would be doing, outlining chords and dictating the melodic motion of the song. It's just unbelievable to look through these parts and see what he was doing, and then go back and listen and think, oh my god, I always wondered what it was about this song, and it's the bass part, that's what's doing it for me. Some of you might not know who Juan Alderete is. Well, I'll tell you who he is. He's the bassist for Mars Volta, Racer X. He's played in bands like Distortion Felix and Him. Really, the guy is a chameleon, and he's currently playing with Juliette Lewis and the Licks. And I think that is the biggest thing that I can say about Juan, is he is a chameleon. He can play in just about any kind of situation and dominate. And not only that, he's always exploring his instrument, and that is what I love most about him. He's adventurous. He's never content to just play one style of music. Racer X, in the early days of his career, being more speed metal, very of the time, late 80s, but the Mars Volta, very avant-garde and alternative, and oh my god, his fretless playing, fretless bass and that guy were meant for each other. But of course, me being a pedal person, he is a huge pedal person, and he's always experimenting with them, always exploring new sounds, always trying to go for something that he hears in his head. And I can really relate to people like that, people trying to craft a sound that's all their own, and he really has succeeded in doing that. Although you could say both of them are on far ends of the spectrum and neither of them are alike, to me, they both possess amazing qualities that make them my favorite bassists. They're adventurous, they're different, they're not doing the same things that every other bassist does. And that's something that I can appreciate.